Tales of Asgard.
To the Vikings, death was not an end. It was a passage, a journey to the afterlife, where the way you were buried could decide your fate beyond the grave. But how did the Vikings honor their dead? What rituals did they perform to ensure safe passage to Valhalla, Fólkvangr, or Hell? And what do these ancient customs reveal about their beliefs in the afterlife? Today, we uncover the Viking burial rituals, the sacred rites of the North. One of the most famous Viking burial traditions was the ship burial. But why did they bury their dead in ships? Ships were sacred to the Vikings. They carried them through life and into the afterlife. A Viking of great status, such as a king or warrior, might be laid to rest in a full-sized longship. The body was placed with weapons, treasures, food, and even sacrificed animals or servants to accompany them on their journey. The ship was either buried beneath a mound or set ablaze at sea, sending the soul into the next world in a blazing tribute. One of the greatest Viking ship burials ever found is the Oseberg ship, where a high-ranking woman was entombed with incredible treasures and sacrificed attendants. But ship burials were not the only way the Vikings honored their dead. The Vikings believed fire was a gateway to the afterlife, and cremation was a common burial practice. Bodies were placed on a grand funeral pyre, set ablaze so the smoke would carry their soul to the next world. In some cases, cremated remains were buried in an urn, while others were scattered into the sea or winds. Some sagas tell of warriors who were burned with weapons and gold, ensuring their wealth followed them beyond death. One legendary account, recorded by an Arab traveler, describes a Viking chieftain's funeral, where a slave woman was sacrificed to accompany him into the afterlife, before the pyre was set alight in a grand ceremony. For those not burned or sent to sea, another method was the burial mound, great earthen tombs built to honor the dead. These mounds could be small for common folk or massive for kings and warriors. Some were marked with standing stones, symbolizing the presence of the deceased in the land of the living. Many mounds contain grave goods, swords, shields, drinking horns, and amulets to aid the dead in the next life. Famous burial mounds, such as those in Uppsala, Sweden, were believed to house ancient Viking kings, still watching over the land, even in death. Some Viking burials included human and animal sacrifices, but why? Slaves or companions were sometimes buried with their lords, believed to serve them in the afterlife. Horses, dogs, and falcons were sacrificed, symbolizing wealth and status. These sacrifices were likely a way to ensure a strong retinue in the next world. While not all Vikings practiced this, archaeological evidence shows some graves contained sacrificed individuals, reinforcing the belief that death was a journey, not an end. The burial rituals of the Vikings were more than just ceremonies. They were a bridge between the living and the dead, between Midgard and the realms beyond. But what about the Vikings who had no grand burials? The outcasts, the dishonored, the forgotten? What happened to the souls who had no resting place? That is a tale for another time.